The adjuster sends over a scope. It's 11 pages long. It's got line items, quantities, unit prices, codes you've never seen before. Most reps look at the total at the bottom and stop there. That's the mistake.
What are they missing when they do that?
Money. Legitimately owed money that the homeowner isn't going to get because nobody read the document. This is the working document. Today is a bonus episode. No tour, no overview. We're going line by line through a real insurance scope of work. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what you're looking at, what should be there, what's often missing, and what to do about it.
This is the one I wish I'd had on day one.
Most people wish that. Let's fix it.
Start from zero. Someone who's never seen a scope? What is it?
An insurance scope of work is the adjuster's written estimate for the damage claim. It's generated in a software called Xactimate, which is the industry standard for property insurance claims. Think of it as a work order from the insurance company's perspective. It lists every item they're agreeing to pay for, the quantity of that item, and what they'll pay per unit.
And the scope drives the payout?
The scope drives everything. If it's on the scope, they pay for it. If it's not on the scope, they don't, unless you go back and supplement it.
How long is a typical scope?
For a standard residential re-roof claim, anywhere from 6 to 15 pages. The first page or two is a summary. The rest is the line item detail. The summary is where people look. The detail is where the work is.
Walk me through the structure.
Page 1 is the claim info, insured name, address, claim number, date of loss, policy number. You want to verify that the property address on the scope matches the job. Sounds basic. You'd be surprised.
That's actually a mistake people make?
More than once. Adjuster pulls the wrong property on a multi-unit file. Scope is for the wrong building. Job gets started. Nightmare. Check the address.
The summary. What's on it?
The summary breaks down the total claim value into 3 numbers you need to understand cold: RCV, depreciation, and ACV.
Define each one.
RCV is replacement cost value. That's the full cost to replace the damaged property with new materials at current prices. It's the real number, what it actually costs to do the job right. Depreciation is the amount the insurance company subtracts from RCV based on the age and condition of the existing materials. A 15-year-old roof isn't worth what a new roof is worth, so they hold back a portion. ACV is actual cash value, RCV minus depreciation. That's the initial check the homeowner receives.
So the homeowner gets less than the full cost up front?
On most policies, yes. The depreciation holdback gets released, called recoverable depreciation, after the job is completed, and the contractor submits the final invoice showing the work was done. That's when the homeowner gets the second check.
What's the most important thing to explain to a homeowner about this?
That the ACV check is not the final settlement, it's the first installment. A homeowner who thinks the ACV check is everything they're getting will sometimes decide not to do the job because the number seems too low. You have to walk them through the full picture. Here's what you get now. Here's what you get when the job is complete. Here's the total.
And that explanation should happen before they see the scope?
Before they see any number. Set the expectation at the inspection. Use the Insurance Quick Guide in the app. It walks through this in plain language you can go through with them.
Now the detail. What are the line items?
Every line item is a specific scope of work. Each one has a description, a quantity and unit of measure, a unit price, and an extended total. The quantities are calculated from the roof measurements, usually pulled from an aerial measurement report like EagleView or CoreLogic.
What's the main line item on a re-roof?
Remove and replace roofing. That's the primary labor and material line. It'll be measured in squares. 1 square equals 100 square feet. The scope will show total squares, a unit price per square, and a total for that line.
What else should be there on a standard asphalt shingle job?
This is the checklist. Go through it every time. Starter strip. It should be a separate line item, not bundled into the shingle line. Starter is a specific material with a specific cost. If it's not there, it's a supplement item. Drip edge should be listed by linear feet for all eave and rake edges. If the adjuster only measured eaves and missed rakes, the quantity will be short. Ice and water shield, listed by square or by square foot. The scope should reflect the required coverage, valley areas at minimum, but if local code requires full coverage on low slope sections or the first 3 feet from the eave, that needs to be on there. A lot of adjusters default to valley only, even when code requires more.
How do you know what the local code requires?
Know your jurisdiction. Most areas in storm-prone regions have code that requires ice and water shield. At the eaves, a minimum of 24 inches inside the exterior wall. Some require more. When in doubt, pull the local building code or call the permit office. If the scope doesn't match what's required, that's a supplement. Pipe boots and collars. Every penetration, plumbing vents, exhaust pipes, should have a line item. Adjusters sometimes lump these in or miss them entirely on a busy inspection. Step flashing. Any area where a roof meets a vertical surface, dormers, walls, chimneys, needs step flashing. It's measured in linear feet. Missing it on a complex roof is a significant dollar amount. Ridge cap, measured in linear feet, should cover the full ridge run plus any hip ridges.
What about ventilation?
Ventilation is where a lot of money gets left on the table. If the existing ventilation is non-compliant with current code, not enough net-free area, wrong product type, replacement is a code-required upgrade. Code upgrades are a covered item on most policies. If the adjuster didn't account for it, it goes on the supplement.
And then there are the soft costs.
Permit fees. Almost always a supplement because adjusters routinely leave them off the initial scope. The permit is a real cost, it's required by code, it belongs on the claim. Dumpster or debris removal. On larger jobs or jobs where site access requires a dumpster, this should be on the scope. If it's not, it gets supplemented. Overhead and profit. On jobs that require general contractor coordination, multiple trades, complex logistics, O&P is a standard addition. 10% overhead, 10% profit. Adjusters often exclude it. It's not optional if the job legitimately requires coordination.
How do you verify the quantities are right?
You measure. Either you get up on the roof and take measurements yourself, or you run an aerial measurement report. Then you compare your numbers to the scope numbers.
What does a square look like in math?
Length times width of each roof plane, divided by 100, equals squares. A simple gable roof, 2 planes 30 feet by 40 feet each, is 2,400 square feet, which is 24 squares. Add waste factor for cuts, hips, valleys, typically 10 to 15% on a standard roof, more on complex geometry.
Pitch affects this?
Pitch affects the slope factor, which multiplies the footprint area to get the actual roof surface area. A flat measurement doesn't account for the rise. The steeper the pitch, the larger the actual surface relative to the footprint. There's an insurance scope math quiz in the app that walks through exactly this. Pitch factors, waste calculations, how to check if the adjuster's square count is in the right ballpark. If you haven't taken it, take it this week.
What if your numbers and the adjuster's numbers don't match?
That's what the supplement process is for. You document your measurement, attach the aerial report if you have one, and submit the difference. You're not arguing. You're providing evidence.
Is there a systematic way to go through a scope and find what's missing?
Yes. Go through the scope with a physical or digital checklist. The Ostermiller training materials, specifically the Insurance Scope Fundamentals Quiz and the Hard Insurance Quiz, are built around exactly this process. After going through those, you'll have an internal checklist in your head. But here's the practical version. After you read the scope, ask yourself 5 questions. 1. Does the square count match my measurement? If not, why not, and by how much? 2. Are all the flashings accounted for? Step flashing, counter flashing, valley metal. Check each one. 3. Are all the penetrations listed? Count the pipe boots on the scope. Count them on the roof. Should match. 4. Are code-required items included? Ice and water shield to code, ventilation to code, permits. 5. Is the labor rate reasonable for this market? Xactimate uses regional pricing, but those prices update quarterly and sometimes run behind actual market labor costs. If the labor rate is low, that's supplementable with documentation.
What documentation do you need for a supplement?
Photographs are the foundation. Before and after photos, close-ups of damaged areas, photos showing the conditions that require a specific line item. If you're supplementing for ice and water shield beyond valleys, you need a photo of the eave condition and a copy of the local code requirement. If you're supplementing for ventilation, you need photos of the existing vents and documentation of what's required.
And the supplement itself, what does it look like?
A written document listing each supplemental item, the quantity, the justification, and the supporting documentation. Professional format, clear language, no emotion. You're presenting evidence to an adjuster who's going to approve or deny it. Make it easy to approve.
One thing I've heard come up is some homeowners have ACV-only policies. That changes things?
Significantly. On an ACV policy, there is no recoverable depreciation. What the homeowner gets in the first check is all they're getting. The job still needs to be done, but the homeowner is responsible for the gap between ACV and actual cost.
How do you handle that conversation?
Honestly and early. As soon as you know the policy type, you tell the homeowner, here's what the insurance is covering, here's what the real cost of the job is, here's the gap, here are the options. Some homeowners have the cash, some need a payment plan, some decide to wait, but they make that decision with full information, not a surprise at the end.
What's the worst version of that conversation?
The worst version is the contractor who doesn't know or doesn't check the policy type, signs a contract based on RCV pricing, does the job, and then tells the homeowner they owe the difference. That's a blown relationship and potentially a legal problem. Know the policy. It's on page 1 of the scope.
Quick hits. 3 things people miss every time.
1. The line item description sometimes doesn't tell you the unit of measure clearly. Look at the column header. It might say LF for linear feet, SF for square feet, EA for each, or SQ for squares. The quantity is meaningless without the unit. 2. Xactimate has a minimum charge built into some line items. If the quantity is small but the line item shows a higher dollar amount than the math suggests, there's probably a minimum charge being applied. That's normal. Don't question it. It's built into the software. 3. The scope date matters. If significant time has passed between the scope date and when the job actually gets written, prices have moved, material costs have gone up. That's grounds for a price escalation supplement with market documentation.
If someone listens to this once and then goes and reads their first scope, what should they expect?
They should expect it to make more sense than it did before, and they should expect to find at least one thing that's missing or undervalued. Every scope I've ever reviewed closely has had something. The question is whether you catch it.
And catching it means the homeowner gets what they're entitled to.
That's the whole point. This isn't about squeezing the insurance company. It's about making sure your homeowner is fully protected by the policy they've been paying premiums on for years. That's your job. The job doesn't run itself. Now you know how to run it.